Everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode, Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up doing well, got the mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So today I want to share with you guys something that I've read and been listening to over the weekend. Actually, longer than that. It's just I got these things in order that I put in my notes that I want to go over when I do my episodes and stuff like that. And so I had this one a little bit further down, but I moved it up because I just found it really just a really great message for everyone. All right, for everyone. Doesn't matter who you are. It's be the man or woman that you've always needed in your life. All right, be the man or woman that you've always needed in your life. When I heard that, this guy is talking about people just are missing things in life. Not everyone knows everything, and certain parents or parents in general just can be really good parents. They just don't know, certain things, and you have to learn those things because you're missing them in your life. And so you have to like acquire those skills and knowledge so that you can, put them in place where they need to be in your life because you're missing those things. I know for me, for example, being a coach, I deal with a lot of young individuals. Okay. I deal with a lot of, kids. I don't teach the kids classes, but I still talk to the kids. I still, conversate with the kids, and I work with a lot of teenagers, and I work with a lot of, obviously adults, young 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, and even some of the 40-year-olds, that need, even though they're 40. And here's the thing, I heard one time, someone was like, oh, I'm such and such age, I need to be treated like a man. Well, you need to act like a man. Okay. Just because you're an adult, by age or, whatever, you can be 35 years old, still play video games and act like a kid, 40 years old, still live at your mom's house. That doesn't make you a man, right? What makes you a man is your responsibilities and the things that you do, in life and stuff like that. It's just what makes you a man. So the, certain individuals that I come across, they either have both parents or they don't have both parents, or they're missing a parent. It's just the way they were, just the way it is. I know some people, they don't really have a dad that was never really in their life, so they're missing that. And so I'm not there to take that individual's place, but I am there to kind of help fill those voids and implement things in life that should be implemented for someone like that's missing that should show them the way to kind of help them think about certain things and where they should be going in the direction and their finances. I know how to manage my finances. I got good credit scores. A lot of young individuals don't have that, so I help them with that. And if you're missing that, then you should be trying to get that, to be the person that you've always needed. You be the person. Don't make an excuse because, oh, well, I didn't have a dad around, and so he didn't teach me, no one taught me X, Y, Z. Well, if you're old enough and you have a phone and you got Google and you got YouTube and you got all these tools at your disposal nowadays, you can learn things that you never learned, you never heard about. I know one time I had it's mid-20s, early 20s, individual in the locker room. And when, we get into the locker room after class, we get to talking about a lot of things, adult stuff. We goof around, play around a lot, make jokes. But then a lot of times it's adult stuff, like adulting stuff, responsibility type stuff. And one time I had one of my students just just there. And I'm like, hey, you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just listening, because I've never heard things like this before. We're talking about real estate, we're talking about savings and money and just future and generational wealth and all these things things that men should talk about, right? And he was just kind of blown away. I've just never heard anyone talk about that. And I've heard other early 20-year-old students of mine say, well, I was never taught that. I was never, no one that wasn't even a thing in my household, what you guys are talking about, And it doesn't make those parents bad parents. It's just, you're missing that in your life. So if you're missing whatever you're missing, okay, then go get that. Then go get that knowledge, and then be that person that that you're missing. Whatever it is that you're missing, go be that person that you're missing. I'll give you an example for myself. I have a great a really good dad. Okay, he's always been there since day one. You know, him and my mom are still together. I have both my parents, so I'm very fortunate in that manner. But no one knows everything. Okay, and so like in my era growing up, you know, late '80s, early '90s. You know, I'm like early, you know, high school years, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. You know, I graduated in '93, and at that time, you know, there was a lot of gangs in our neighborhoods and like where we hung out at in our city. You know, it was just a thing. I think across the board, across the country, across like just like the country was just like that's just what it was. It was like it just exploded like late '80s and you know, mid '80s, late '80s, and then early '90s. You know, and then so on and so forth. But with my dad's era, like he didn't have that. Like that wasn't like a thing. That just wasn't a thing. Like he just went to work, trying to provide for his family, put food on the table. He didn't know anything about like fighting and like, you know, martial arts, wrestling, self-defense, boxing, anything like that. Like that stuff wasn't never really shown to me. But what he did do was show me how to throw baseball, taught me how to pitch, taught me how to play basketball, taught me a lot of things. I've always grown up playing sports. I just never learned how to do like a martial art type of thing, like a wrestling, a boxing, anything like that. That just wasn't a thing. And so I had some friends that would always just kind of whoop on me and stuff because they knew wrestling. They wrestled in high school. And so what I have to do, I had to go and learn wrestling. I joined the wrestling team at my high school. Did really good my first year, did really good my second year. And then, you know, I wanted to learn how to throw hands, so I boxed for a couple years and then did that for a while. And then, you know, then I found jiu-jitsu and I've been chasing that ever since. I just really enjoyed like that, the martial arts aspect of things and like the one-on-one like physicality of things instead of like a team sport, like a one-on-one thing, just me and another person, me and another man, shake hands and then we just get after it. I've always liked that. And so I've always been chasing that since day one. I've always wanted to have those skills that I didn't have because my dad didn't teach me. That doesn't make him a bad dad. Bad father is just his dad didn't teach him, father, you know, grandfather before him didn't teach him, and then just down the line, like that just wasn't a thing in our family. You know, I didn't grow up like in a boxing family or a wrestling family like some people have. So I had to learn and acquire those skills by myself, and I had to go and get that because I needed that at that time in that era. If you didn't know how to take care of yourself, like then you're just labeled a mark and you're just gonna always be messed with. You're always gonna be, in a sense, like trying to be bullied by someone. So don't want to look like that, don't want to feel like that, don't want anyone to do that. So I had to learn and go and do that. So I had to be a person that I needed in my life, which I needed someone like that. So I went and got those skills. So whatever it is, you know, like the health and fitness thing, like the healthy eating, and that was really never a thing in most people's families that I come across, even to today. You know, that's not a thing. Taking care of yourself, you know, your health and eating correct foods and drinking water and eating proper nutrition. That's not a normal thing in most people's households. It's the other thing. So, you know, joining the wrestling team, that really helped, like kind of like lay the groundwork for like how to eat right, how to cut weight, how to take care of yourself. You know, then we're starting to lift weights. You know, like no one really taught me how to lift weights. I joined the wrestling team and now we're lifting weights. Like I'm doing all these things that I've never been taught before. No one showed me before. And I entered into this other world where like, hey, they do these things. This is what they do. This is what wrestlers do. They lift weights, they eat right, they run. No one in my family runs. No one, like even to this day, like no one still runs. Like that's not a thing. Like it's just not. It's just what it is. And so I had to go and get that knowledge. And so that's always been with me since I've been like 15, 16 years old. And now I'm 48, to where like I just been doing that since that age. And I try to pass it along to many people because many people that I come across don't know how to eat right. They don't take care of themselves. Their parents didn't teach them how to eat right. They didn't teach them how to lift weights. They didn't talk about cardio and, you know, vitamins and proper nutrition and all these things. And so I try to help people with that. So whatever it is that you're missing, you know, you can't use that as a scapegoat or a crutch or a cop-out and be like, well, because I know a lot of people like that. They do stuff like that. They say things like that. Like they weren't dealt the best cards. Their parents really aren't the best parents, you know. they're not supportive in whatever way. So then you be that person. You be the person that you've always needed in your life, and you make that happen for the next generation, for your kids or whoever, or just people around you in general. And you step up. You be that person and take the responsibility to be the person that you've always needed in your life. And the same thing goes for me. Like, I'm always trying to acquire new knowledge, like learn things. I'm always reading and listening. It's how these episodes come about. Like, it's just things that I'm just learning as I go. And what happens, I'm like, oh, this is really good. Let me get out here and share this stuff. So be the person, man or woman. If you're missing a man in your life that didn't show you certain things, like, what are you missing? You know what you're missing. Like, go and get that. Go get that knowledge. Be that person. Acquire those skills, and then you'll be ready to pass it along to someone else. And you're helping yourself, and you're helping other people, so on and so forth. So whatever it is, like, you can get it. We're in a technology age. Like, there's really no excuse for anyone not to know stuff. Before, back in the day, you had to ride your bike, drive to the library, like, look for a certain section, read a book. Now, like, I went running earlier. I listened to like 30 minutes of like this guy talk, and then I washed my truck. That's another 30 minutes of listening to someone talk, and then I'm stretching and I'm cutting my hair and shaving and like listen to another 30 minutes of someone talk. Like, it's just information and information and information, to where like just constant knowledge is being pumped in my ears. There's no music. It's just knowledge. Like, that's all I want. I want to acquire knowledge, and that's what you should be chasing. You should be chasing whatever it is that you're missing, to give that to yourself, and then you can give that to other people. All right, gotta go, gotta train. Be the man, woman that you've always needed in your life. You don't have to, like, no more excuses. You be that person. Step up. All right, guys, catch you on the next one. We'll see you.